Today I'm going to be doing a poetry reflection on one of William Butler Yeats' most famous poems, called The Second Coming. Let's get right onto it. The Second Coming, by William Butler Yeats. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out, when a vast image of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere in sands of the desert, a shape with lion body and head of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun, is moving its slow thighs, while all about it, real shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again, but now I know the 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle, and what rough beast its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born? I summarize the first stanza as, spinning in a gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Chaos is everywhere. Innocence is tarnished, and there is an intense lack of conviction. Moving right along into the analysis of the first stanza of the poem, which just so happens to be an octave, Yeats uses a lot of repetition, assonance, and consonance to really make his unique ideas and views of religion and the world stand out to the reader of the poem. He uses literary devices such as symbolism and imagery to really create a dark tone. He sets forth ideas that will be further seen in the second stanza of the poem, such as the idea of biblical cycles like gyres, falcons, birds in general. And we will just see more and more of these ideas sort of start to develop in the second stanza of the poem. And the second summary of the second stanza reads like this. The second coming is surely at hand, the spirit of the world so troublesome. A new pitiless beast emerges, causing darkness once more. The past centuries of stony sleep were doomed since this beast came to be. This beast does not look towards good. It looks towards evil. As I said before, the ideas are further developed in the second stanza, and the symbols that he had set forth are coming sort of to life. Like the desert birds, he talks about how their shadows stumble, and I believe the birds symbolize humanity and how humanity will suffer because of this beast, which we will further analyze when it comes to the theme. But yes, he just really sets forth a really unique way of thinking, and I believe that I've said I believe too many times already. Let's get right on to theme. Moving right along to the theme of the poem, which I came up with, I said that humanity is losing focus of the difference between good and evil. Our Savior, the Messiah, according to Yeats, comes in cycles or gyres. Humanity's doom will come when it destroys itself by trying to become better and evolve. This poem serves as a warning. Yeats warns humanity about the evil that will bloom. He does this in his own unique way, of course, incorporating his different views on humanity and religion. How will the Messiah come again after humanity has destroyed itself? That is a question that Yeats asked. His truly intelligent views on and his mystic ideas and his views on occultism as well, discussed in his biography, really come and intertwine with this poem, which really exemplify how they actually come together and how Yeats sort of uses these ideas to create poetry, which I believe is what makes his poems so great. So in conclusion, this was a very hard poem to sort of analyze, but I believe that it is one of the greatest I've ever read.